morning, everyone, and welcome to our AM yoga practice today. I'm just going to take a few moments to wait for others who might be joining our practice this morning. For your practice today, again, you might like to have yoga block or so, a couple cushions, something that you might use to support yourself with. You might also have a blanket for Shavasana or a yoga strap, robe tie, kitchen towel, anything like that that might assist with some deeper stretching later on. Good morning, everybody. It's good to feel your presence. What else do I want to tell you before we get started? If you feel inspired to donate today, and you do not have to, we have our donation links attached to the video at the top. So today we are going to work with opening up to the wisdom that's born in the silence or stillness within ourselves. I know personally I've been feeling like there's been a lot of noise, and I know that's why I'll retreat outside to sit in nature and to come to my yoga practice. But I feel like maybe a lot of us are looking just to find that silence and to let something beautiful be grown or come from it. So today we're going to connect with cultivating that energy. So before we start, let yourself sit comfortably, and I'm going to share with you a beautiful writing. This was by Khalil Gibran, who wrote the book The Prophet, which is one of my favorites. It's a beautiful book, poetry. There's a card. I have this lovely card deck that has the illustrations from some of his books. I'll try to move my hand here, but it's beautiful, beautiful picture. And it says, "Sing to me a deeper song. I only speak to you in words of that which you yourselves know in thought. And what is word knowledge but a shadow of wordless knowledge? Your thoughts and my words are waves from a sealed memory that keeps records of our yesterdays, and of the ancient days when the earth knew not us nor herself, and of nights when earth was upwrought with confusion. Wise men have come to you to give you of their wisdom. I came to take of your wisdom. And behold, I have found that which is greater than wisdom. I only speak to you in words of that which you yourselves know in thought. And what is word knowledge but a shadow of wordless knowledge? Your thoughts and my words are waves from a sealed memory that keeps records of our yesterdays." So we're going to incorporate bringing that stillness and connection to our own silence, from which the spring of wisdom, intuitive guidance is born today. And we'll let ourselves really listen to what that might be saying. Okay, so we'll get started. So as you find your way to your comfortable seat, which I'm sure you already are in, just make sure that your spine is beautifully tall, nice and elongated. So you might be even leaning up against a wall if you need. I like to sit up on a block or a cushion just to help decompress, take some pressure off the lumbar vertebrae. And you choose, would you like your legs in Sukhasana, they call it easy pose or cross-legged pose? Would you like them in any other position as you begin? Just making sure your roots, your legs and feet, your hips, your knees feel comfortable right now. And we are going to connect with our breath And we're also going to connect with a mudra. I'm going to show it to you. It's called the Naga mudra. And what you see in my hands, I'm taking my mitten hands and I'm clamping them together. So my 4 fingers make a little X and my thumbs also make a little X. And I'm going to hold them in front of me. So when you have that little gesture, that energetic seal, Naga, we're going to just bring it right in front of our heart. You can even put your thumb knuckles, or one of the thumb knuckles, into the center of your sternum. And once you find that position, close your eyes and you might feel your spine just naturally deciding it would like to rock side to side or wave itself side to side in a comforting way. Deep, beautiful breath rising from earth upward, exhaling completely, like sighing it out. And I'll tell you about this mudra and how it seals in the energy, the intention. Naga is actually the Sanskrit word, Naga or Nagi, for the serpent. And I know some of us may really not like snakes, but this signifies the end of a cycle or the beginning of the next cycle. And it signifies gathering the wisdom within ourselves to shed the layers that are no longer helping us. Moving forward into the next cycle, lighter and more free. So holding this gesture in your hands, rocking yourself side to side or front to back if that feels right, or sitting in stillness. Softening your jaw. Deep breath in, exhale. You might even bring to mind, what would you like to shed? What would you like to move on from? Or how would you like to grow some silence within yourself today? Sometimes the past and past memories seem very noisy in our headspace. So let's invite that stillness and that silence in. And I'm going to ask you to focus on the sound of your breath for 5 deep belly breath, Dirga breath rounds. So you're going to count your breathing starting now. Big breath in and out. Once you've completed that 5th exhalation or so, take a big breath and sigh, and I'm going to share with you the affirmation for the Naga Mudra. The affirmation is, all my senses are focused on the divine, and I thankfully accept its wise advice and its deeds. All of my senses are focused on the divine, and I thankfully accept its wise advice and its deeds. All of my senses are focused on the divine, and I thankfully accept its wise advice and its deeds. I thankfully accept the wisdom coming in now. I thankfully accept the wisdom that is already present within me in my silent stillness. So as you inhale now, take that Naga Mudra up overhead. Inhale, reaching it, stretching it. And now, if you can, hold your arms there. Soften your elbows and shoulders. And can you take your rib cage around, or your torso around in a little circle? Again, soften your shoulders. Soften your jaw if it starts to tighten up. And just feel like you're, bringing your rib cage all around the inner part of a barrel or a cylinder. And you're just allowing the breath and the space to get in the nooks and crannies there. One more breath. Maybe a couple more. Just feel it out here. If you need to keep going, we're bringing the spaciousness all around the shoulder blades, heart center, lungs. And then inhale yourself, center. Now I know I only went one way so far, so I'm going to exhale and give my arms a little bit of a break, and I'm just going to interlace my hands behind me. Check in with your legs now. See if your legs need to reposition themselves. But shoulders are opening, my hands are clasped behind my tailbone, my sacrum, and I'm just giving myself the opportunity to lift and open up my rib cage and chest. Soften your shoulders and jaw again, and try not to sway your back, just keeping the navel drawing inward slightly toward the spine. Beautiful. Now, as I mentioned, the last time I was doing my Naga Mudra with the arms overhead, I was spiraling myself to the right. I'm going to reverse that in a moment, so it's okay if you don't remember which way you went. You'll probably feel it once you start. Take 2 or 3 more breaths right here, though. Let's even slow it down a little bit more. Count your 3 deep breaths. Dirga breath from the belly to the lungs. We let ourselves breathe up. One more breath now. As you exhale, let the arms melt to your sides. Bring the arms back up overhead, making your little Naga clasped hands, little X of the fingers, X of the thumbs there. And now I'm going to let my ribs start to circle to the left. So it's going to feel like I'm leaning left, leaning back, leaning right, leaning forward. But as I have my arms extended, I'm letting my elbows be relaxed, I'm letting my shoulders be relaxed, letting my jaw be relaxed. I thankfully accept the wisdom of the divine. I allow it to grow and open within myself through my silence and my stillness, through my pause. Breathing. A couple more breaths. Getting into the nooks and the crannies around your shoulders and your chest. If at any time you need to just bring your arms down and do this action with your torso instead of your arms overhead, please feel free. One more breath if you can. Here we go. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, let it all melt. Sit tall. Cleansing breath in, cleansing breath out. Good. Make sure you're still comfortable. We're going to let our legs extend out in front and just begin to crank around the ankles. You could also bring your arms up and crank your wrists gently, so we're not doing any forceful cranking, just something to feel good, reversing the circle, getting our joints watery fluid. And just feel like you're receiving the element of water that's in the air today here in Northeast Ohio with the rain, the gray sky, bringing that fluidity in. 2 more breaths wherever you're working, making sure that you've reversed your joint circle. And then bring your fingertips to your shoulders and start to circle your elbows around. So my legs are in a relaxed bent position in front, and I'm just bringing my elbows together towards center and opening them back and around, kissing the elbows together. Inhale, exhale, open the heart center back. Take huge, beautiful breaths today. Let yourself be nourished by that breath. 3 more breaths, counting them. Melt the arms, interlace the fingers behind you one more time, and this time your arms can be beautifully heavy and relaxed back there, or you could pull down on the hands and open up your heart one more time. Find 3 to 4 deep breaths, listening to the sound of your breath. Inhale from the belly up to the chest. Open your wings out to your side. Exhale, right hand to the earth, tip right. Just a moment to open the spine laterally. Inhale through center, exhale, left palm to the earth, tip left. Just enjoy what muscles you're feeling opening around your back, your shoulders. Just a few more of these. And again, cue your breath, sync it up so you inhale through center, exhale as you spill to one side, gently melting toward earth. But I want you to just hear your own soothing sound of breath. So inhale, center, exhale. Stay to the side you're on. Let your fingertips touch your top shoulder and circle the elbow around on the ceiling, or like a little tiny bird wing. Open and close that bird wing. So I'm dropping my elbow toward the earth. It's not going to touch the earth. And then I'm going to open it back behind me. So my right fingertips are to my right shoulder and I'm flapping my tiny bird wing. Inhale and exhale. Connect with the soothing lullaby sound of the breath within you. Not that we're lulling ourselves to sleep, but we're lulling ourselves to that spacious, silent, open center of us where our wisdom is. Now one more time, just circle the elbow in some way. Enjoy what you're letting shed off, peel off, feel it opening. And then I'm going to reach that top arm to the sky. Inhale, float upward with your spine. Exhale to the other hand. And I'm going to touch now, for me it's my left fingertips to my left shoulder, but you might be opposite, that's okay. We're going to just drop the elbow toward the earth, leaning forward a bit. Open the elbow back. I might look and take my chest toward the sky. Exhale, baby bird wing. Down, inhale, baby bird wing up. I feel like my center stillness, I don't know why I feel it viscerally, I feel it physically, personally, I feel like it comes from around my heart center and my belly center, my solar plexus. So I always work to really open up where I've created a cage there. So I'm going to open it up. Inhale, exhale. Now I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let you hear your own breath. So enjoy that sound as you inhale and exhale. One more breath. And then inhale, circle your elbow around in a way that feels good. I like to think of the layers peeling off of me that I'm shedding so I can again move forward in a lighter space. I'm thinking of shedding layers of noise, opinions, judgments, fear, anger. Three more breaths here in your breath. Inhale, reach the top arm, unfurl it to the sky. Sit tall, exhale, centering your torso. Sitting tall here, just take a moment, integrate, notice how you feel. Do we feel a lightening? Again, mind your comfortable seat. We're going to do one last seated thing here. We're going to cross our fingers, our hands back into our Naga Mudra. So again, to find the mudra, you make mitten hands, and then you cross the four fingers of either hand, making an X there, and then you clamp the thumbs together so they also make an X. Sitting really tall, I like to have my legs being kind of bent out in front for this. This is a cleansing, detoxifying breath. In Kundalini, I'll show you what the breath is in a minute. Kundalini yoga, this is done for scrubbing away, again, the unhelpful thoughts, unhelpful layers, speeding up the metabolic rate, helping to burn fat cells. It's a warming breath, but again, it helps to scrub the unhelpful thoughts and balance the emotions. And it's actually a breath that's done in some shamanic exercise too, tied to the hummingbird, because it has a very light, buzzing, hovering feel, and you'll see my body here. So we're going to use the Naga Mudra with this, with in front of our chest. My elbows are out. What I'm going to do is twist my torso to a very slight front diagonal. I'm not trying to crank into my low back at all. I'm just shifting my shoulders and chest toward the front corner. I inhale through my nose, exhale to the opposite corner, out my mouth. And you're going to let that happen for you at your own speed. Elbows out. Whatever you want to shed from around your midsection, belt of fear, noisy center, noisy thought. We're going to let it flit away, melt away. And you can feel how this could be like hummingbird buzzing and hovering its wings in one space. Can you reverse it? Inhale opposite way. If you ever need a pause, pause. 3 more. Inhale, center, reach up with Naga Mudra. Hold your breath. You'll feel a wash of prana like tingling down through your center. Exhale, melt, melt, melt. Pour, pour, pour. As you sit tall, contract your pelvic floor, integrating Mula Bandha, the root lock. So it's like a Kegels exercise where you're cutting off the flow of urine. You're going to hold that root lock as long as you can, but you're going to keep breathing. I only speak to you in words of that which you yourselves already know in thought. And what is word knowledge but a shadow of wordless knowledge? Your thoughts and my words are waves from a sealed memory that keeps our records of yesterday. Wise men have come to you to give you of their wisdom. I came to take of your wisdom. And behold, I have found that which is greater than wisdom within. Big breath in now. Cleansing breath, reach to the sky. Exhale, melt the arms down. Take just a moment to honor your neck. Take a few half circles of your neck or full circles or any head, neck, shoulder movement that feels good. And we're going to eventually come in just a moment to our hands and our knees, but work with some neck love here. Relax your jaw, horsey lip it out. In the quiet, I want you to bring your intention and attention, awareness into your belly, your diaphragm. What's happening in that space? Deep breath. When your neck feels balanced, bring your head to center and guide yourself over onto your hands and your knees or your elbows and knees in your own timing. So you can orient yourself on your mat in any way that feels right to you. I'm going to go sideways though, so you can always kind of see what I'm doing here initially. So I have my hands planted down, but again, like you said, you can have your forearms planted. Just honor your wrists. Take a moment for some hip wags. Wag your tail. Horsey lip that jaw. Now, so I'm going to let my head just actively hang down. Horsey lip your jaw. With your head bowed here, you choose if you want to keep your hips moving or if you want to bring them to stillness. But with your head bowed, ask yourself, what do I need today, inner self? What do I need today? And listen. As you take your next inhalation, sway your spine looking forward and up. Exhale, round your back, blossoming the back of your heart center upward. Inhale, sway. Exhale, round. Feel the beautiful back and forth. Inhale and exhale. And through your knees or your hands as well, I should say knees and hands or knees and forearms, when you round your spine, can you really root down into earth, solid like a mountain, like you're part of the rock? Inhale, sway. Exhale, anything that's not helpful to move forward into the future. Let it lift from your back body. Take a couple powerful breaths. Take your rib cage circles one more time. Sometimes this feels a little awkward at first, but just try to ride it out. You're going to let yourself shift your ribs one way, then up the opposite way, and then down like they're tracing the inner part of a barrel if you were inside a barrel. Horsey lift that jaw. And then when you want to reverse that rib cage circle, breathe deep. All the nooks and crannies opening up. Good. Now just center yourself. Offer one little option to your body. Curl the toes under, and maybe you do a little down dog, but it's a down dog where we kind of shift ourselves forward and back on our arms and our legs. So I'm rounding like a cat almost in my down dog, gliding my weight forward and back. This can also be done on your elbows. You feel it really in the biceps, triceps. Breathe though. Just touching a little bit of strength here. Just take a few breaths, recognizing whatever strength you're feeling. If you need to have your knees on the earth, bring them back to the earth. And then meet me down in child's pose. Any child's pose that speaks to you. Take a few breaths here. If you need to walk your hands side to side or play with any shoulder rib cage movement before you find stillness, honor what you're feeling. But when you find stillness, I would love for you just to count 5 or 6 deep belly, waist, low back breaths, Dirga breath. I only speak to you in words of that which you yourselves have in thought. And what is word knowledge but a shadow of wordless knowledge? Your thoughts and my words are waves from a sealed memory that keeps secret records of our yesterdays. Gliding yourself back up to your hands or elbows and knees. I'm going to face you for this next series. We're going to allow ourselves to bring with us, if you like, a block to help assist us in a runner's lunge. And also know that you could use a counter or a chair for runner's lunge if you'd rather not use a lower block, so you could come higher. But we're going to work our way there. And right now, I have my block over to my right side. I'm going to make sure I have adequate padding under my knees So if you need more, add more. Good, and then just finding again, whether you like to be on your hands or your elbows right now, just one more little swayed back cow. Hold it, breathe here. Deep breath. Good, and now we're gonna engage abdominal. So I'm coming to neutral table. My spine is long, and I'm feeling my navel draw up toward my backbone right here. So navel toward the spine. I'm gonna let myself first start with taking my right leg back, and I'm gonna see if I can lift that right leg up off the floor, and I'm just gonna take some hip circles here. So just first getting into and opening up any tightness, tension around the hip, nurturing and nourishing not only the hip itself, but the SI joint, sacroiliac joints in the low back. So feel how this leg wants to explore. And if your foot is pretty much just on the floor doing a circle, that's okay too. Breathe, keep your head in line with your spine, looking down at the earth, and then reverse the circle when you feel the glutes start to fire one way, just reverse it. And then breathe too if you're feeling this around any nooks and crannies of the opposite hip or glute. Take an HA exhalation, opening your jaw. Take a few more of those HA, open jaw exhalations. Good. Now we're going to plant our right foot to our right diagonal. So all I did there is I swung it over. It's on a little bit of a diagonal. It's right by my block. And now I'm going to walk my hands or forearms to the right side and pivot on my left knee. Okay, so here I am in a kneeling lunge now. I'm going to take my hands up to that block, or I might reach for a seat of a chair or countertop. And I'm going to see if I can lift that left knee off the earth, keeping myself on the ball of the left foot just for a few breaths. We want to open up the psoas here. Iliopsoas, when it's really tight, the front of the left hip flexor, it can cause us a lot of back pain, hip pain, sciatic pain even. So breathe here wherever your lunge is, and you can move and explore in the lunge, or you can be still, just sinking your hips. Alignment points, we want to make sure, if best we can, that right ankle's under the right knee, like a 90-degree angle. If you want a deeper stretch, you can squeeze your back glute and drop or sink your hips toward the earth. And maybe you can stay here, or maybe some of you at home might feel comfortable reaching your right arm toward the sky, looking to the wall or back behind you. Or maybe you feel that little baby bird wing come back where you touch your right fingertips to your shoulder, right elbow opens upward. You can move that around or not. Breathe though, bring the breath, bring the breath. Just a couple last breaths. Couple last breaths. And then find your both hands to the inner side, inside of that right leg again. I'm putting my left knee down on the floor, kneeling lunge, and now I'm going to guide my hips back. They're not going to sit back, but I'm just going to leave my hips right over my left knee and walk my hands or my block back and start to straighten my right leg. Doesn't have to straighten all the way. You can keep a generous knee bend if you like, and just melt your heart over the leg or on the inside of the leg. So you could have your hands inside the right leg or on either side of the leg. Pour your head over the leg, softening and relaxing around your shoulders, neck, face, and jaw. I'm keeping an adequate knee bend here, or a generous knee bend, so I feel the stretch in the widest part of the hamstring, the belly of the muscle. Deep breath. Count at least 4 deep belly breaths and hear the sound of your soothing breath as you relax your neck and your jaw. After that fourth breath or so, shift your hips forward. My hands are inside my right leg. I walk my hands back toward the front of my mat, pivoting on my back knee. And I bring my right knee back in. Now I'm back to my table. Inhale, sway your back. Exhale, round your spine. HA breath. Exhale. Remember, you can be on your elbows if you prefer. Inhale, clear it out, open the jaw. Bring a little more shoulder action, and so you're shrugging, rolling your shoulders back as you sway, and roll the shoulders forward as you exhale, round. 3 more with lion's breath, tongue coming out and down as you exhale. Centering. Good. Whether you're on your elbows or hands, one last thing before we reverse our lunge here. As I inhale, I'm going to peel my right arm up to the sky. Feel that. Exhale, melt it down. As I inhale, I peel my left arm up to the sky. Exhale, melt it down. Feel that action. Passing your weight up to the higher power. Inhale and exhale. Inhale as you peel it up, exhale, may it be received. So I love to think about whatever has been too much, whatever I have wrapped myself up in too far, the noise, the worry, the fear, the anger, the self-judgment or criticism, I pass it up. Inhale, exhale. Okay, one more either side. Hear your breath. Supporting on your elbows if you need to. We're going to extend the left leg up in the air behind us and take our little knee circles, warming up our head. Knee circles. So again, you could keep your foot earthbound. It could be circling on the earth in some way behind you like a little frog, or you could just be letting it dance around in the air, and you'll feel your glutes activate. Make sure that your navel is still drawing up towards your spine and the back of your neck is long. You're focusing down at the earth. Deep breath, but we're not letting our head droop toward the earth. Reverse the circle when your glutes begin to fire or speak loudly. And now take some HA exhalations. Beautiful. Extending the leg. I'm going to bring my left leg out to my left side, front diagonal like I'm kneeling. I'm going to walk my block over to the inside of my left foot. I'm scooching my left toes out a little bit, crawling them out, walking my hands over to that block as I pivot on my right knee. My right foot's behind me now. So you might stay here in a kneeling lunge. You might totally stand up and let yourself hold onto a countertop or a chair for your lunge. But if you're able, curl your back toes under and lift your hips to runner's lunge, 90 degrees in your left knee, left ankle under the left knee, and the hips melting toward Mama Earth. Deep breath here. HA breath out the mouth, softening the jaw. You can activate and squeeze the back glute for a more deeper stretch in the iliopsoas of the front hip flexor. You can push back into the back heel and activate the glute for a deeper stretch. So remember, you can be higher if you need this, so you do what's right for your body. You could also be hands on your quad. Beautiful. And if you feel like you'd like to explore this, keeping your right hand down, you can reach your left arm back or up, any which way. You could look toward the back wall, you could wave the arm around, or as I did earlier, you could take a baby bird wing in your left arm, left fingertips touching your shoulder, and exhale toward the earth. Inhale it open, flapping the left wing. Inhale when it opens, exhale when it closes. This is all optional, and you want to honor what you feel in your back. And so if I were more upright, I could be doing this right here, holding on to something. A few more breaths. Hear your breath. Can you take one or two more? And then if we are in that runner's lunge, maybe we can start to offer our right knee back to the earth, kneeling lunge. So if you've been standing, if you would like to find your way back down to kneeling lunge, you're more than welcome, or just kneeling. And we're going to shift our hips back over the back knee, extending our front leg, our left leg, as much as we're comfortable with. We don't have to lock it. We want to keep a soft knee bend. Hands can come inside the left leg on the block or the floor, or on either side of the left leg, and release your head weight over. Feeling a stretch in the widest part of your hamstring, the belly of the hamstring. There's quietness behind the left knee and where the hamstring connects under the glute. Those areas are quiet. Melt your neck, your head, your tongue, your jaw. Deep breath. We're going to count 5 breaths, listening to the soothing breath in yourself. After the 5th breath or so, release by shifting your hips forward, hands on the earth. Walking your hands to the center, you pivot on the back knee and draw the left leg in to tabletop. From here on your elbows or hands, walk your hands all the way to the right as far as you can. Look back towards your feet. Deep breath in and out. You could, since we're walking to the right, you could walk your left fingertips out further in front on the left diagonal. Feel a bigger stretch through your left side, or reach that left arm off the floor. Breathe. Horsey lip your jaw out. Neck and head in line with the spine. Good. Melt it on down. Walk your hands the other way. To the left side we go. Walking my right fingertips out on the front diagonal, looking toward my left, to my feet, over the left shoulder. Horsey lip the jaw. If you'd like, reach your right arm off the floor. Deep breath. Deep breath. Inhale it back to center. Now you're going to choose to sit or kneel. I'm going to show you kneeling sideways. My kneeling would be a high kneeling position. Okay, other option if we do not like kneeling, sitting with our legs out in front of us, bent. Okay, so either which way you're choosing, we're going to let ourselves lengthen up. So if you're kneeling, you're going to bring your hands, I have my thumbs right on either side of my low back. My fingers are wrapped around. I'm kind of digging my thumbs in and lifting up in a way that feels good. And I'm just going to inhale, lift my chest, and look to where the ceiling meets the wall. Breathing here. Some of you might be able to lift up and lean back a little bit, drawing up on your thumbs. Some of you might be able to reach back for a block, or the heels pressing your heart toward where the ceiling meets the wall. So if we're in our seated position, we're going to be just leaning back to our fingertips, opening up our chest, looking to where the ceiling meets the wall. And we're going to now take 5 deep breaths, counting our own breath. Maybe you could take 1 or 2 more breaths, maybe not. Honor what you're feeling. And wherever you're at, begin to release. My kneelers, please feel free to kneel and sit on your heels or a block if you love kneeling. If you don't like kneeling, sit comfortably. Lengthen through your spine. Deep breath in, exhale completely. Close your eyes. Take a cleansing breath now and exhale. Find your Naga Mudra. Naga is again where we make our mitten hands. Cross the 4 fingers so our palms are facing us. We have an X in our 4 fingers of either hand. And then we clamp the thumbs together and they also make a little X. And we're going to bring that gesture right in front of our sternum, and our elbows are going to point outward, and we're going to come back to our Kundalini or hummingbird breath cleanser. Big breath in and out. Inhale as you slightly twist to one corner. Exhale out the mouth to the other corner. We're not cranking anything. Start slow at first. Remember, this tones the abs, it detoxifies, it burns fat, it decongests, and it helps to clear the thought and emotional state to a neutral place. Speed it up when you're ready. Light twist. 3 light twists. Keep it going. Can you contract the pelvic floor? Reverse it as you're ready. Inhale other way, exhale opposite way. Can you contract the pelvic floor? Shed the layers that are no longer helpful. more. Inhale, Naga Mudra up, hold the breath in. Exhale, melt. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears, tears of sadness, tears of anger. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. And the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. Take a beautiful breath in and exhale. I find so much comfort in that last passage, and I hope it helps you too. Shift yourself for a moment onto your hands, knees, elbows, just to lift up to down dog here. Ooh, stretch out the backs of those legs. Big breath in. If you'd rather go to child's pose, honor that. If you're happy in down dog, maybe you can take a leg up if that feels right, or play with a knee circle. Maybe not though, do what's right for you in down dog, walking the dog, or just being still, let your head weight go. If that feels great, you can switch sides with your three-legged exploration, horsey lipping your jaw. Deep breath. Sigh it out, relax your neck, your face. Any other little moves you want to take in down dog, explore them. Walking your feet to a ragdoll, forward fold. So we can walk hands back towards feet, feet towards hands. Bend your knees generously, spill your upper body over your legs. Be still and dangle or sway, swing, explore the earth with your fingertips, side to side. Just feel, I love to feel as if I'm dipping my fingertips in the water. Head weight release. Give your head a nod, yes or no if you need. And when you are ready, center in yourself again, nice deep knee bend. Rolling up through your spine, the head's going to come up last. I love to climb my hands up the front of my quadriceps. Head coming up last. As you come to your mountain pose, spread your toes, soften your knees. Inhale, shoulders shrug. Exhale, roll them down and back, and take that a few more times, just opening up. As we connect to the still silence within ourselves that's born of our breath, remind yourself again that our joy is just our sorrow unmasked. that it all comes from the same source. And as Khalil Gibran wrote, that the anguish we feel, the pain or the anger that our tears came from, those of us that have felt that the most are also the biggest containers for holding joy, love, and laughter. And I love to know that, to think that, to believe that. One more breath. And I let that be grown in my wisdom today. Nice. So we're going to widen our stance, angle your toes outward. You have a couple options for your arms here. One option is letting your palms rest on your thighs, and we'll inhale the heart center up. Exhale, bending our knees, spilling over, undulating, and then rounding up through the spine. Option one, that was. So hands on the thighs with undulation. Option two, we have a little eagle mudra variation, Garuda arms. So that's where we X our arms in front of us and then bend at the elbows. And we could either hold the backs of the forearms and hands together, lifting the elbows so they're chest height, or you can interlace your hands one more time. And you could inhale here and exhale, bend your knees, over you go. And if you choose this Garuda variation, I'll ask you to do a couple on one side, and then we'll reverse the twist of the arms. Option three is holding your hands behind you with either clasping your hands or a yoga strap or dish towel between your hands. Inhale, heart center lifts. Exhale, spilling over, yoga mudra. Grounding through your feet, contracting the pelvic floor, rolling up. Okay, so you could even mix those up. I'm going to show it all different ways, and we're going to do about 8 rounds. So I'm going to start with my hands on my thighs. Inhale, exhale, spill over. As I inhale, I push down through my feet, contract my pelvic floor. Rolling up, exhale, lion's breath. Push down through your feet, contract your pelvic floor. I'm going to show with eagle arms, right arm over left. Exhale. Contracting, lifting. Exhale. As I push down through my feet, I contract my pelvic floor. I'm going to show opposite eagle arm twist. Inhale. We're just clearing out now. Contract the pelvic floor. And yoga mudra, clasp, exhale. Clear out everything that's been loud within you. And know that our sorrow, our anguish, our pain is really just our joy unmasked. Take off the mask. And there's our container for laughter and peace. One more promise. Exhaling. Enjoy it. Rolling up. Lift the heart center, however you choose. Open arms, sigh it out. Beautiful. Find your prayer hands. Take a moment of stillness. Anjali Mudra, prayer of the heart. What do I need today? Ask yourself, and then tune into your breath and your belly. 5 deep breaths, soften the jaw, hear the sound of your own breath. Open your arms, make an X. Exhale, melt. Good. step your feet in if you haven't yet, and if you did already, that's fine. Shake out your feet, shake out your arms and hands. We're going to do one standing hip opener that I can offer to you, and I will also show it though on the ground, which feels safer to some people, so I'm just going to share it. I like to do this one in my kitchen, and that's where I am right now, so you might also like to do it if you're in your kitchen. Or anything that you have a countertop or a wall that you can hold on to. And I'm going to be coming over to my countertop space or wherever I'm holding a chair, a wall, stepping my feet back quite a bit, and I'm going to bend my knees to like a chair pose. So that means I'm bringing and connecting my navel into my backbone so I have that abdominal support here. And then I'm going to let myself lift my right foot up and cross the right ankle over the left knee. So I'll do that facing you so you can see what that looks like. I have a triangle shape here. And so what we're going to play with doing is bending the support leg and thinking about bringing our chest forward as we sit into this hip opener, opening the right knee, flexing the right foot, bending support leg, chest coming over the front leg, holding onto countertop, chair, or wall. You could also hold onto a block. You could also hold onto the floor. If this seems absolutely like it's not going to happen for you today, you lie on down and you cross your right ankle over your left knee. You can hold it here, flexing the foot, opening the knee, or hugging in the back of the left thigh. So same stretch. So wherever you're at, breathe. I just noticed sometimes I'll feel even a little bit more deeper stretch when I'm standing, and this is opening up the piriformis muscle that surrounds the sciatic nerve. Flex that ankle, press the knee open, deep belly breath, abs engaged, so the navel's lifting toward the backbone. If you need to stop and rest, please let it go when you need to. If you can take 3 more deep breaths listening to the sound of your breath, fill up your belly with breath. When it's time for you to release, you might come to mountain, you might go to ragdoll, or you might rest on your back. Be where you are, breathe deep. Touch your fingertips of both hands together. Soften your jaw. Cleansing breath in and exhale. So when we get to the moments of pause, let yourself feel whatever it is you're feeling. You might feel a calm, you might feel a panic. When is she going to talk again? She talks more than this usually. Let yourself just work with whatever you're feeling, and then let yourself let it go if you can. So we're going to take it to the opposite hip side. If you're standing, please feel free to stand. So right now I'm holding onto my support. I'm crossing my left ankle over my right knee, and I'm going to bend my hips, sinking them back to chair. Here I'm engaging again, navel toward the spine. I'm flexing my left foot, pressing my left knee open. Navel's lifting toward the spine. I'm going to emphasize that one again. And then I'm just letting my chest hinge forward, supporting knee bends. Breathe. Remember, you can be lying on the floor, crossing that right ankle over the left knee like a triangle as well. What works for you today? Relax your jaw, your neck, your tongue, your shoulders. Breathe. Five deep breaths, counting your breath, filling up your low belly, sides of the waist, and low back. If you need to. Sometimes I hold on with one hand and place my other hand on my belly to feel the breath there. Release when you're ready. Take 3 deep breaths. Take our weight if we're standing. Doesn't matter which side you start on. I'm starting on my left. I'll show you this on the floor too. Weight is in my left foot. I'm going to pick up my right heel toward my glute. You might grab the top of your right foot or right ankle or hook it with a strap or dish towel. So I'm holding my right foot into my glute and I'm going to squeeze my glutes as I stretch my quad and psoas. If you're on the floor doing your hip stretch from a moment ago or coming out of it, you can roll to one side, and same deal, you just draw one hip or one heel into your glute, the top heel into your top glute, and hold it, squeezing. So you see wherever you're safer standing, safer floor, breathe. Some of you out there might like to take this into a dancer pose. That's totally your call. So I have my right hand holding my right foot. If I want to try dancer, I'm going to reach my left hand out in front like I'm going to shake someone's hand. Navel draws into the belt backbone. Navel's engaged. I can push my foot into my hand and lean my upper body forward. My knee points down to the floor. If you want to do this, you can. You don't have to. Helpful to focus your eyes on one point and never stop breathing. Never ever stop breathing. 3 deep breaths more wherever you're working. Wherever you're at, release it. If you're on the floor on your side, just rest on your back. If you're standing, find mountain pose, touch your fingers. Inhale, shoulders up, exhale, roll them back. Feel your unshakable quality that is born from this breath work and the stillness, where your wisdom pours forth from. And how can you really appreciate the vessel of who you are? Because this vessel not only holds the pain, the anguish, the sorrow, the anger, but it also holds all of the joy, all of the peace, all of the laughter. It all comes from the same space, all of the wisdom. So just appreciate all of it. Shifting to your other side as you're ready. You can allow yourself to hold on to something, or if you're standing, and draw your opposite heel to opposite glute. So my left heel now is coming into my left glute. I have my navel engaged toward my backbone. So navel drawing in. If you want deeper quad stretch, you can squeeze your glutes. Remember, you can be lying down on the floor, rolling to your opposite side, same action, pulling your heel, your foot into your glute. And if you want to play with dancer pose today, you are more than welcome, but you absolutely do not have to. So if I'm going to play with dancer, I'm going to reach my right arm forward because I have my left foot in my hand, like I'm going to shake someone's hand. My navel's drawing into my spine, engaging my abs. And I start to actively push my foot into my hand like a bow and arrow resistance, leaning my upper body forward, focusing my eyes on one point, knee pointing down toward the earth, breathing deep, so my knee's not opening, it's pointing down to the earth, hips are square. Soft shoulders, elongated arm. You can also be holding on to something. Deep belly breath, soft jaw. We're going to count 5 deep breaths wherever we're at, listening to the sound of our breath. Releasing it when you're ready. Finding your way again. If you're on the floor stretching, you can roll to your back. If you're standing, come to a quick foot shake out. Quick arm and hand shake out. Horsey lip your jaw. If you're on the floor on your back, please feel free to shake out your arms and your legs on your back. We're all going to come down to our backs in a minute. Just a few minutes. Good. If you're standing, inhale to stretch your arms up overhead. If you're lying down, same deal. Arms stretch. Exhale, just melt. Cleansing breath in and cleansing breath out. Now, standing friends, we're going to come to meet our folks on the floor for anyone that had been stretching on the floor through squat. So if you like, you can go wide legs, bent knees, hands on the quad shelf. Or you might be able to squat deeper, elbows on the quad shelf. Or you might be like a frog. You might be on the balls of your feet or heels down. But if you go low, you could bring your hands to prayer, press your knees open with your elbows. If you're on the floor, you can be happy babying, and we will be joining you there soon. Breathe. I do want to play with one more breath practice before we completely release to Shavasana. Relax your jaw. When you're ready to come all the way down, standing folks, any way you want to climb out to the earth, please do. I like to go through down dog, and I like to twist my dog, so I'll be up on the balls of my feet, swiveling my knees one way or the other, opening my back. You can come down to the floor any way that speaks to you. Release your head weight if you're in down dog. And here we go, coming to a seat. So if my friends that were lying on the earth for the last series, you could stay laying down if you want to just rest. But if you're able to come up to a comfortable seat for one last round of breath work, sit however is most comfortable to you. And we're going to work with our hands in the Dhyani Mudra in just a moment. I'm going to show you, so we're going to be, Dhyani Mudra is where we're going to have our hands cupped, and our left back of our hand is going to rest in the palm of the right. My thumbs touch lightly, and I just feel that weight. So I want to introduce that first, but we're not going to go into it just yet. We're going to do one more active breathing. So you're sitting tall. Before we do that, I want us to open up our lung capacity one more time. So see my hands now, I'm going to hook them together. And I'm going to bring them overhead. And I'm going to let my right, so my right elbow is going to lean to my right for a sec, looking away. And then I'm going to go to the opposite side, lean away. Just a couple of those, back and forth. And if you want as well, you could also circle. Good, breathe, just a couple of those, because we're opening up our lung capacity, our center capacity. Reverse the circle. It feels like what we were doing when we very first started with the Nagi Mudra, but now we're in a Ganesha Mudra, overcoming obstacles of illusion. Take one more breath and then let it all melt. Shake the hands for a moment. With your hands resting on your thighs or your belly, we're going to do really quick rapid fire exhalation one last time like we were with our hummingbird, like that, but keeping ourselves centered. And we're just going to take those quick candle blowing out breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale. If you'd like to, you can try exhaling out your nostrils. Soften your shoulders. Soften your jaw. Inhale, reach to the sky. Swallow. Exhale. Now find the Dhyani Mudra, back of the right hand resting in the palm of the right, thumbs lightly touch. Bow the head slightly so the back of the neck is elongated. Take a big breath in and exhale, and just know that in that silent stillness within you, all the answers that you're seeking may blossom forth. Know the silent stillness is born of the breath and our ability to touch and connect with the breath. And in that sacred space within, we can find our most beautiful stillness and quiet amongst all of the noise of this world. So you can continue to stay in a seated meditation if you like, or find your way down to your final resting position, but honoring any last movements you need to take for your body. So if you feel like you got to do some neck massage or shoulder massage, sighs. If you feel you need to lay on your back and massage your back out by rocking your knees one way or the other, this is your time as we wind down for our final relaxation. So if you love meditating, please stay up there. If you need to rest, honor your body. So you can always be rocking your back out if you're on the earth. You can be twisting your knees one way or the other. You could happy baby your legs. Do any other hamstring or hip stretches that speak to you. Or my other favorite is I love to end all my own personal practices. I like to elevate my sacrum on a block or some cushions just to open up my front body and improve posture and open up the lung capacity, the heart center. So if you like this posture, please feel free to play with it before you settle. Sometimes I take my Shavasana in my restorative bridge pose with the hips elevated. So you're just making this your own right now. Yogi's choice, everybody. And I'd love for you just to get settled in wherever you're at. If you ever need to move during your Shavasana to change position, you are more than welcome. I'm going to get closer to you though. Deep breath. As we work with connecting to our wisdom center today, I'll share with you as you rest that beautiful passage by Khalil Gibran from the Prophet. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked, dear friends. And the self-same well from which your laughter arises was oftentimes filled with your tears of sorrow or anger. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. I only speak to you in words of that which you yourselves know already in thought. And what is word knowledge but a shadow of wordless knowledge? Your thoughts and my words are waves from a sealed memory that keeps records of our yesterdays. Let your mind produce the image of a still surface of water, like a pond or a lake that is completely unmoving and reflective like a mirror. And each in-breath creates concentric rings that move out slowly and fluidly from the center of your navel outward. And you watch those concentric rings move out and touch the edges of yourself. And as you exhale, you watch the water return to stillness. Inhale, the navel fills and the concentric rings move out to the edges of yourself. And exhale, the water surface becomes still. Inhale, the rings move outward forever, all the way to the edges of your spirit. And exhale, everything becomes still. Keep watching the breath. as you take your last deep breath, and your mind may have gone to infinity, but just feel those concentric rings traveling all the way out to the edges of your spirit. And as you exhale, feel everything become smooth and still again. And swallow and start to wiggle toes or fingers only when you feel like you can recognize where your body is on the earth resting. And eventually, when you're ready, stretch in any way that feels good, like you're waking up in the morning. And for those of you that are lying on the earth, you might let yourself begin to roll over at some point to rest in a fetal position for a few breaths. Everyone just noticing how you're feeling. Taking an inventory and working your way up to a comfortable final seat whenever you're ready. So as you find your way to your comfortable seat, I'm just going to ask you to bring your palms over your chest. So I have my one palm pressing into my chest, other hand stacking on top, spreading my fingers like bird wings, sitting up beautifully tall, regally tall, softening the jaw, bowing the head, little smile. The source of stillness, of silence, and of wisdom is within each of us. It is inside the same container that weeps in anguish and laughs in joy. It is in the pool of breath where we can find the still place, where all of our answers, where all of our needs are met. So let yourself be here. And also just take 2 more breaths and hear that breath. Know that comforting, lulling sound is within each of us, the sound of peace. Sometimes we forget when the world gets really noisy. So really thank yourself for practicing authentic grounding and self-care this morning. And I thank you so much for being here with me. My cat is down on my lap, so that's where my other hand is. I have to pet her. And we're going to let ourselves take a little bow. Beauty before us and beauty behind us, beauty above us and beauty below us. Beauty comes out of our mouths, our thoughts, our actions. And we awaken to the beauty all around us and within us. For in beauty it was started, and in beauty it is finished. In beauty it is finished. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, melt those arms, finding those prayer hands. And I'll say thank you so very much for practicing with me today. I thank you dearly. If you feel inspired to contribute a donation, we graciously appreciate, but you do not have to. Those little donation links are on the description of the class. Thank you all so much, and namaste. And I do want to share one other thing with you before I go. This book, The Prophet, it's actually a card deck. That's what I was reading from today, and it has beautiful illustrations from Khalil Gibran's original writings. And this, I'm just sharing it because this book has always made me fall in love with humanity again and again. And I feel a strong connection. And I'm not trying to sell this book. We don't even carry it at branches, but maybe in the future. Amazon has it. It's the Prophet card deck. It gives you the entire book illustrated by the cards, the beautiful Khalil Gibran's illustrations. So anyway, thank you all so much and have a beautiful day. I hope you can find something that continues to help you fall in love with humanity.